Hello.
Just on that, Andrew one, do you view it as a big summer, as a real pivotal, but very exciting summer ahead of perhaps recruitment and pushing on again?
Yeah, well, the way we planned the 5 first summers, it was going to be very big, and they were going to have different objectives because the turnaround of players and the objective of those windows were going to be different. But now when you're going to go again, first of all, we need to increase the depth on the squad, but as well you want to increase certain quality and skills that we need to now go to the next step. It is going to be a big one, and we are very excited about it.
And can I just take you back to Bukayo? It's becoming quite common to have the surgery on hamstring, more perhaps common than it was. Is that to prevent further issues down the line? How confident are you that long term he can be exactly perhaps better than the player that we've already seen?
Yeah, well, it's unfortunately, that's true, it's becoming more recurrent. So that tells you that there is something that is changing, and we are obviously analyzing that. The data is still quite small. But then, at the end, you have to weigh the risk and reward of having the surgery. And if we believe that a player that is so explosive, that makes that many actions at high speed, a lot of details, and we are not sure in that area whether the muscle, the tendon can sustain that load. It was an easy decision to say, okay, what is the opinion of the specialist? It was 100% that one. So on that case, even if it's going to take a little bit longer, we have to go through that route.
So do you mean that you mapped out the summers 5 years in advance?
Yeah, what we expected, because in the beginning is a lot of players with 3, 4, 5 years contracts. So the turnaround of a squad and how you visualize the next 3, 4, 5 years are very dependent on what's going to happen here. So I think they were very, very different. And the way you start to evolve and you start to master certain things and compete at the certain things, the changes, they cannot be that much, And that's where we are. When the line now is thinner, the margins are smaller. But the cost of that as well increases, so it goes a little bit in a different direction.
So you've sort of seen this summer 2025 for quite some time. You thought this would be a big summer to invest in.
Yeah, really improve it's not about only investing, because there are certain positions that probably we didn't expect that we're going to have someone like Ethan or Myles contributing to that, which is being great, and we have more of those. Beautiful, but there were some turnaround on players that it was quite evident that it was going to happen for different reasons, and you have to plan that.
And just quickly on Myles, he's got this amazing ability to sort of protect the ball and use his body. Is that something that you've coached him, or has he just had that naturally, and where does it come from?
Well, that's something that is natural on him. He's always been very comfortable when he's playing in midfield, running past player and holding people away from him and very far from the ball is a natural thing. When he plays in defense, he needs some coaching in relation to what spaces he's defending, and especially with wingers coming in certain ways, but he does that naturally really well.
John?
Because of the seriousness of Bukayo's injury and the surgery, do you think in the future he may have to actually adapt his game, not be as explosive and go on the outside, maybe become shorter a bit more? Do you think that will naturally have to be his game with this injury?
No, I think so. I think if you look at the consistency levels and the amount of games he's played, very little to change that. Sometimes these things happen, and it happens to the best players, and it doesn't mean it has to happen again. And he needs to be fully aware that obviously everything is increasing. The level, the speed, the time you have to execute is shorter. So you want to do it slower, forget about it, because you're not going to be efficient. So you're going to have to do it probably faster. So faster is going to be sharper, it's going to be at the maximum speed, and you have to train and prepare for that.
And I'm sure during your career you had hamstring injuries. On that first game back after a hamstring injury, how nervous are you? Are you constantly thinking about it, feeling it, hoping it doesn't go?
No, because he's done everything. And he's done everything many times already. Okay, he needs the exposure on the game, but all the boxes that he had to tick are those concerns normally are when you are rushing an injury. And it's a 3-week injury, and after 10 days you want to put yourself on that pitch, and then you just almost praying, saying he doesn't want to go. But I think he's been really good in the process, and we have a lot of reassurance that he can do very well now.
Don from the Standard. Mikel, you said that a player as young as Myles scoring on his England debut or international debut is an unusual thing. But in a sense, it's in keeping with his rise this season under you. I mean, it sure it surprised you, but it can't surprise you that much. I mean, he's just taken for every new challenge like that.
Yeah, but I mean, it keeps being surprising. It's like the same that what they done Ethan, especially because those two come from a development when they haven't had any professional football. So that's very uncommon. In other leagues, you play in the Championship, you've been on loan, and you have a lot of players, they've been really young, top clubs in England, but they have loans and spells. These guys, they haven't played any professional football in their career. So it's like go from karting to Formula One the next day and go with that, and that's exceptional.
And on Andrea, how confident does his arrival make you in terms of getting the centre forward that you'd like in the summer, but also more broadly the transfer recruitment that you'd like over the next few years?
What I'm very confident about is how he's going to make everybody better. That's my confidence, because the way he is, because the personality that he has, the way he talks about and how passionate he is about what he does, and that's what we need. New blood with people that are so ambitious, that they have so attached to the football club and what we already do, but want to add value. That's what I'm very confident with.
Listen. In terms of the league, if it does end up becoming mathematically impossible to finish top of the table, is your target second place, or is it an attitude where you finish in that top four? Because there's a number of teams now that are obviously trying to secure Champions League football. So,
I appreciate the question. Hopefully we're not going to get there. If we get there one day, we can discuss about that. Now the focus is about just winning against Fulham.
But is there a difference between the positions 1 to 4, or do you see it as 1 and then anything within 2 to 4 is just position?
The target obsession is 1. After that, let's see.
And in terms of Ethan Nwaneri, of course, Saka's now back. How does Ethan's role potentially change this season and maybe the start of next season too?
Like with the other one, so at the start of the season he had a situation, but he proved to everybody that he was ready and he deserved more minutes. It's about the impact that you have in training and in games when you have the opportunity to play, to show. And if someone shows that they can impact the game and help us to win football matches, he will be on that pitch.
Okay, Bukayo, what's he been like in terms of his recovery around the team? I feel like it's not just about getting back to full fitness, it's evolving around the play as well. What's that been like?
It's been great, for example, with Ethan, with other players, the support that he's given, the time he spends with them, giving them advice, being around the team, how positive he's been always around it. It's good. It's good to see a side of a player that has a huge role in the team where he's not able to be in practice, where he's not able to contribute in game, how actually behaves. And that's why it is so special.
Okay, last couple now. Ed, Guardian.
Hi.
You said you're expecting a big summer. Can you put a number on how many players you think you need to bring in to bridge that gap to first place?
But I said as well that the last 5 were big. So every summer is big because it's an opportunity, and especially with the number of players that we have in the squad right now, that is necessary. But it's a big summer for many things, because firstly we have to maintain all the good foundations that we have, and then obviously how can we improve and evolve the team.
With Saka and Saliba as well, they're coming to 2 years left of their contract. How important is it to get those guys to sign a new deal, as leaders of the club?
That's very good, but now I'm going to leave all those questions for Andrea and make sure that he has his place and his role, and he can fulfill it, and hopefully my influence will be in other aspects.
Okay, finally to Gary.
There was 2 questions about Bukayo. What did he, when he was the last couple of weeks, have he played a sort of behind closed doors friendly, and how many times have he played it? What would he have done in terms of that?
Yeah, we played once, but before that he had 6 consecutive sessions with the team, and it was good. We played that game. He felt completely fine, so that's what I'm sure that we have managed to replicate almost every scenario. At the end, you need that a 60,000 stadium, a different competitive level, a referee, and play that game.
Well, that being sort of blind in the obvious question, what did he actually miss with him not being on the pitch? What actually, in terms of the kind of tactics or the kind of what he actually delivers on the pitch?
Well, it's obviously we talked about it before. I mean, there is not a single player in that squad that has produced the numbers of Bukayo in the last 3 seasons. That's that's it. So that's him, and we have done it in various ways, and we have remained very, very competitive without him and without many other players, and that's a big credit and how strong the team is as a we, even though some very important individuals are missing.
Okay. Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you. Tendon injuries.
Sorry, I don't know.
It's not unfortunate, is that?
Oh, especially hamstring.
What do you
But
put that down?
Eh?